Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Highland Gamescast. What episode are we on? 64. Oh my goodness, Highland Gamecast Nintendo 64 edition. I am the damn Daniel Capt Bergerson, as you may know me as well. I'm joined by, she is the Geek Apprentice. You probably know her as Ilya Rose. I don't know which side of me she's on. He is the king of this channel. He's the one that brought us all together. You know him as GameOverJesse. Say hello.
Hi.
And we're going to talk about the rumor. No, it wasn't a rumor. The leak. There was a leak on a Swedish retailer website called iNet. Or is that it? iNet? Is that the website name? Jeez, what is this website called? About blank, according to my browser. Oh boy. Anyways, this Swedish retailer had an oopsie. It leaked a listing for Metroid Prime Trilogy, slated to come out on Nintendo Switch. It had a placeholder cover art that's just the Metroid Prime Trilogy cover with a red box in the corner. That's supposed to be the Nintendo Switch part of it, I guess. And I can't read Swedish, so I don't know what the rest of the listing says. But this article from allgamers.com reads that rumors surrounding the Metroid Prime series continue to circulate, with a mysterious listing from Swedish retailer hinting at the possibility of Metroid Prime Trilogy coming to Switch. Others have speculated that Metroid Prime 4 may even get a release date announcement following the Metroid Prime Trilogy reveal. Based on information from iNet, it is iNet, okay, phew. And outlets like Variety, the Metroid Prime Trilogy could be announced at the next Nintendo Direct event. It'll have an estimated release date of February of 2019 and will contain Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. So basically, the games you would expect to be in the Metroid Prime Trilogy. And in our opinion, the idea of Metroid Prime Trilogy launching before Prime 4 isn't exactly far-fetched. At the Game Awards last year, Nintendo shared a plan to port Bayonetta 1 and 2 to Nintendo Switch before announcing Bayonetta 3. Unfortunately, the Game Awards wrapped up and no Metroid news was shared. Basically, no Nintendo news was shared, actually.
Yeah.
Although it's still possible the reveal could happen at a Nintendo Direct in early 2019. Will a Metroid Prime Trilogy and Metroid Prime reveal happen in 2019? We're keeping our fingers crossed based on the leaks, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, that's the gist of the article. And by the gist of it, I mean most of the article verbatim. So, my intro lacked a quick spin. Oh, I'm sorry, J2. I let you down. Next time. Next time, but what do you guys have words about this?
I think it's kind of an obvious thing that they'll do. They've had Mario collections, they've had Zelda collections. They haven't had...
Before Breath of the Wild, they had Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD come out. Not a trilogy pack, but still re-releases.
Just the HD remakes. Yeah. On the... This would also be interesting if the Skyward Sword HD... I don't know what it would... The hint, I guess you could call it, because it wouldn't be a leak or rumor, it would just be the hint from Alanuma. If it ends up being true, then I think Skyward Sword and Metroid Prime Trilogy were the first two, and maybe the only two that I'm aware of, Nintendo Wii games that they released as digital download games on the Wii U. So,
oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
And man, when that went on sale, it was like
$10.
$10.
Yeah, because it was 20.
Yeah.
They were $20, but they were half off for like the first.
$10 for 3 AAA, like really like
that's insane.
5-star, like very well regarded games. And I was kicking myself for not buying it. Because at first I was like, I don't need to buy that. I already have all 3 of those games. And then later I was like, why didn't I buy it? Yeah. It was $10.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see like those 2 original Wii U, Wii ports, I guess. Yeah, because they would have been more as ports, because They weren't remakes or remasters because they weren't in HD. They just ran the same that they would on a Wii. In fact, I think when you did boot them up, it would automatically take you from the Wii U mode to the Wii U's Wii mode.
Yeah.
And then it would play it. But it would still look
weird.
better than it would on the Nintendo Wii, because instead of RGB or component cables, it would use HDMI, which has a slightly better signal. So it would have looked a little bit better, but not enough to like make it look amazing by comparison. And then,
though, I hope that there would be all the frills and that they would do a bit of upscaling, maybe some new textures and stuff. Because I remember seeing, I might be remembering this wrong, but there was a Game Explained video when Metroid Prime Trilogy came out, and they mentioned they did like basically a side-by-side comparison of the first Prime game, basically doing a graphics comparison. And for some reason, the Trilogy version of Metroid Prime 1 was worse looking than the original GameCube version, because there was like some of the textures were fuzzier, and there was like less particle effects, and there was like when you would morph ball roll through the water in one area, there was no ripple effects in the Trilogy version for some reason, and there was water ripple effects in the original, and things like weird little things like that. And I think maybe they were just cutting corners to like get it all 3 games onto one disc or something. But it just feels weird to me that they'd re-release the game but like make it look worse. I don't know.
an inferior
That's one of the things
version.
people love about and that's one of the things people love about the Prime games, is there's like so much detail, like a flash of light and you can see Samus's eyes like reflecting the visor briefly, or the water droplets over the visor, like things like that. All these like little detail, or when you have the X-ray scope and you can actually see her hand under under the arm cannon, you can see like her skeletal hands, which is creepy when I say it out loud, but it's just like those little bits of attention to detail, and like for some reason it was lacking in the re-release, which is weird. But so I would hope that they would do some upscaling for it instead if they brought it to Switch, like they did with Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD. Not necessarily overshadow everything with bloom lighting, but you know, some nice textures and stuff would be nice. Thank you. Sorry, Jesse. I'm interrupting you again.
No,
We're
it's
switching
fine.
roles this time.
We all interrupt. It's fine. But with Metroid Prime Trilogy, I think it would be perfect for. Okay, so whenever they showed off the first trailer, I think no, it wasn't the first trailer. Whenever they showed off the first tease trailer thing for Zelda Wii U, that was also in the same Nintendo Direct. They also mentioned they were confirmed they were working on Wind Waker HD. So with them working on Metroid Prime 4, maybe they can give us a trailer for it, but then be like, but in the meantime, here's the remake of these past games, just as they did with Breath of the Wild, where because Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild was taking so long, they gave us Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. So if they did the same with Metroid Prime 4 and Metroid Prime Trilogy, that would be awesome. But yeah, I think the leak is, I don't know if this leak is true or not, but I would say eventually we would get Metroid Prime Trilogy in HD anyways. I would like them to give it modern controls, as well as keeping the motion control.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Like if they made it to play like a traditional, normal first-person shooter or whatever, I think that would be cool.
It's funny going back, and a few years ago I went back and played through the first 2 Prime games, and then I was like, that's too much Metroid Prime, and I didn't end up playing the third one. But it's weird going back to the controls. It's a bit of an adjustment, because I guess we're too used to either using gyro or having 2 thumbsticks, and it doesn't work that way with the first 2 Prime games on GameCube, because the weapon select is mapped to the C-stick. So it feels a little tankish the way Samus moves, but then once you get used to it, it's actually like really good controls, because every button on the GameCube controller does something. And not very many games can say that every button does something different. There's a lot of games where it's just like, either even Smash, the X and Y button, they do the same thing. A lot of Wii U games, like Tropical Freeze, New Super Mario Bros., all those, like a lot of the buttons are interchangeable, or X and Y do the same thing, and A and B do the same thing. And just not very many games where you have such like bust selection of actions. I don't know, like that's weird to say that. And that was something the Wii version, Metroid Prime 3, kind of lacked, I think, a little bit. But then you had the motion controls, which were actually some of the best use of the Wii's motion control. On the console, like it wasn't just waggle; you actually had to aim and stuff. So, I'd say like Metroid Prime 3 and Skyward Sword would be probably the best examples of good motion controls on the Switch. Not the Switch, sorry, the Wii. The Wii. Oh, I know my Nintembos.
No, you're fine. But Ilya, do you have any thoughts on this? Do you think it could be happening? It is happening, not happening?
That face.
I hope for the sake of Metroid fans that it is. Because my brothers have played Metroid, but I never did.
Yeah.
You should try it. It's real good.
I'm not a huge fan of side-scrolling. Well, they're not all side-scrolling, though, are they?
Metroid Prime is not.
Yeah, Metroid Prime is.
That's what I thought.
It's,
but it's
3D.
first person, isn't it?
It is, but the thing is,
First
it's not
person
like
makes me dizzy.
It's not like really like a lot of first-person shooter games are very like high-paced, like very fast-paced, high-action games. And what I like about the Prime games is it's unlike the 2D Metroid games. It is actually very slow-paced, and there's just a lot of just taking things in, reading the lore of the world.
There's a lot of puzzle mystery solving. I feel.
Yeah. So
like Zelda.
Yeah, that's true. Well, maybe that's why I like Metroid so much, because I like Zelda so much. But it's actually a pretty I would say comfortably paced game. Not to say it's boring, of course, either, because it's very engaging with everything there is to do. But you're not like running at a half fast pace, and you're not getting like dizzy like Cloverfield. Have you ever seen that movie?
No.
Oh, okay. It was a movie, and it was like all handheld camera the whole movie. And that's the thing, is like you're sitting in the theater and you're like, oh, I'm dizzy, because it's like the screen's so huge and it's like so shaky. Yeah, so it's not like that. So.
Yeah, to be fair, the only 2 first-person shooter games I've played was like a little bit of Halo with one of my brothers. Didn't know what was going on, and GoldenEye 007 GoldenEye,
classic,
which is a very classic game, and a lot of people love it. But especially when we would do 4-player, my mom and I would just be like,
Hasn't aged all that well, but that's an unpopular opinion. But
no.
All right.
But if I ever get the chance to try it for free, I will.
Yeah. I think we can go on to the next news story.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Good. I talk too much, so let's do that. This is the Daniel show, everybody. No.
Hey, it would be me if we were talking about singers.
Touche. Very touche.
Like the one time that Kayla and I got to talk about Animal Crossing, that could have gone on for hours with her and I. So.
We can do the Breath of the Wild one and then skip the VR thing.
Yeah.
Because that's old. I put that in there before I was able to find other real news.
It's in the title of the stream.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. We could.
Yeah,
Maybe we
some
should
people have been asking
do it
about
really,
it.
really fast.
Okay.
Really, really
There
fast.
was a fan-made VR of Zelda. Bosses.
Boom! Done!
Yeah. Alright, so I'll do this one then. We can do it really fast. Alright.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Ilya Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like. And comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.